I am excited for today. I'm excited for this conversation. I've been wanting to have this conversation with Tom for quite a while, and now I get to have it in front of all of you. Nancy asked me earlier, what in the world is the Lieutenant Governor curious about quantum computing? Why? And I said, because it's important for our nation and our state to have technological supremacy if we're going to have economic and national security supremacy. Technological success, supremacy, as I'll call it, is essential to the future of our success as a nation, as a state. I want Ohio to be at the leading edge of this. And Tom, maybe the best thing that came out of the debate that occurred at the Cleveland Clinic on September 29th of 2020, between President Trump and President Biden. They've both been presidents. So we had a conversation. I got your government affairs team and your legal team. They were telling me about all these great things that this partnership with the Cleveland Clinic and IBM were going to be. And I said, wow, you're going to have a partnership with IBM? You should have them give you a quantum computer. Yeah. And they kind of looked at me like, well, what's a quantum computer? I go, it's like a time machine. It can do these solve unsolvable problems. It's like IBM's leading on this. You should have one at the Cleveland Clinic. And then we had a few more discussions. And then like a month later, you're like, yeah, this might really happen. We might get a quantum computer. And then just announced in March that the Cleveland Clinic is going to be the only place outside of the IBM labs, the Department of Defense, and the Department of Energy, to have a privately held quantum computer in the United States.
Yeah, in the world, yes.
In the world. And it's an amazing opportunity to solve unsolvable healthcare problems. And I'm excited to learn more about what you're going to do with it. So let me just start off by asking you, at the very beginning here, tell me how you're using technology to transform healthcare and how quantum plays into that.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, we were reminiscing about the debate and the conversation that we had at the time of debate. But it is really important for us just to go back and give ourselves collectively here in the state of Ohio credit. And a lot of thanks go to you, John, but also to our Governor, Mike DeWine, and our colleagues from Jobs Ohio, because none of this would have happened. None of this would have happened had we not started to work together very closely early on, about four years ago. And that all came essentially as a byproduct, or as a product, one of many products of our collaboration around Jobs Ohio. How to use the resources that we have in our state to create more jobs. And as we started to speak about this, we came quickly to realization that the only way to do something that is truly impactful on a larger scale is if we work together, and also if we get our resources together. So Jobs Ohio, the state of Ohio, helped, but then the Cleveland Clinic matched and exceeded the amounts of money. We together created a $500 million investment vehicle into biomedical research. And that investment vehicle, purpose was to advance healthcare. Purpose was to create new jobs in Ohio, in the state of Ohio. And when we create something in that scale that has a phenomenal gravitational force and attracts interest from around the world, and one of our longstanding partners is IBM, we started to talk about them because everything that we want to do in healthcare is going to be dependent on our ability to use computational technology for the advancement of data in healthcare, creation of new cures, and the list goes on and on. And you're absolutely right. Then when we started having this conversation, they contributed another $200 million to our combined efforts. So now we have $700 million put together with the singular goal to create new jobs, but also to advance cure and medicine. So computational technology, to answer it in a very concrete way, is essential. It's essential for healthcare. Our ability to gather data, analyze them rapidly, is the future of healthcare. We are going to be more and more reliant on that technology, and quantum computer is really on the forefront of computational science.
Well, when I was at the ribbon cutting, I guess
Yeah.
is what we officially called it, there were people there from all around the world.
Correct.
And I talked to some of them, and I said, talked to a scientist from Switzerland, and I said, well, why are you here? He said, well, the research that we do, we will ultimately have IBM and the Cleveland Clinic run the computations for us, do the research, or run the computations that will run the models that will help us know whether we're on the right track or not. Is that how this is going to work? You're going to basically solve problems for the world right in Cleveland?
That is true. That is the that is the intention, because we will be using obviously quantum computer, but the computational capabilities of quantum computing, when done right, surpass hypercomputers of today by a wide margin. There are certain problems in creation, let's say, of new drugs in healthcare that we do not have, believe it or not, sufficient computational power with current supercomputers to solve. So we have to use a different platform, and quantum computer can advance it by several millions of orders of magnitude faster than conventional supercomputers. So because it's such a unique resource, we will be sharing it with the world, and in particular with our partners in healthcare, so that we can help them solve those problems. So they will have access to the computational power of quantum computer in Cleveland, even if they were to come, I think in this case, they're coming from Basel, from Switzerland.
Yeah. And so tell me give me an example of how this quantum computer will help the development of new drugs and treatments.
Yeah. The biggest idea for the new drugs and treatments is obviously that we're going to design new drugs, which essentially molecules that are three-dimensionals, that have different potential structures, where we need to have a lot of computational power to design the right drug for the right patient. The idea for the future of healthcare is that each of us are going to, in the future, have treatments that are going to be individualized to us as a person, as well as the type of a condition that you have. Common example are cancer drugs. Every person has a different genotype. We know that. We're all different. Most cancers that attack us are also different. The combination between the host and a cancer requires a different treatment for pretty much almost every subtype of cancer. To develop those different treatments at scale that is personalized and more targeted requires computational power. And that is really one of the good examples how quantum computing can be used to solve the problems in healthcare.
And so I should have first said that I'm neither a physicist nor a computer scientist, right? Yeah. And I couldn't even turn on a quantum computer. Help us understand, we hear some of that now, but how much faster do you think once quantum is mastered, let's be clear that it's such an infant stage right now that there's still mastery of the tool that we have, but you know, we're not talking about that it's going to be decades. We're talking about this is within the next 10 years that these things are going to happen.
Yeah, so we're certainly hopeful that we're going to see some breakthroughs that are going to be literally within the next 10 years in healthcare. How much faster is it? Several million times faster than a conventional hypercomputers. So the computers that only large corporate entities have. We're not speaking about the computers that we're having in our pockets on our desktops. And the current use of hypercomputers or quantum computers is in several industries, and this is not going to be a surprise to anyone. One is finance, to provide a really, really fast ability to compute the changes in oscillations.
So I can beat the market. I can just
beat the market.
Yeah.
That's a good incentive.
Steve Steinauer he perked up when he heard that.
Yeah, and very many companies like Goldman, for example, they do so to say rent the time on quantum computers, rent an access to a quantum computer so that they can do some of the financial modeling. The other one is defense industry for all the defense applications, and I think that touches in a matter of national security because all other quantum computers in the world are in the hands of governments. And the third one is actually in manufacturing and in particular new materials. just as we were speaking about the construct of the new drugs, you can apply the same things for different alloys, for different chemical and biochemical compounds, where people like to synthesize them faster, and for that they will need the same type of computational capability as the one that we were just speaking about.
It's anytime we start talking about these new technologies, I was in a room the other day and it was full of about 70 government officials, and I asked them, what do you know, how many of you know about quantum computing? And nobody even faked that they knew, like they don't know. And so we're talking about a technology that's capable of solving amazing, complex problems. It's also capable in the wrong hands of harm, with decrypting things and essentially making cryptology extinct if you don't. I know there's ways that we can protect things, and they're also very vulnerable. So, and you mentioned the partnership we have with Jobs Ohio and the state of Ohio on the innovation district.
Correct.
So we've got innovation, we've got research, we've got this major technology. These major technology advancements, so what else does government need to do to make sure that we're good partners? And I know that one of them is talent and the talent production and that. So tell me, give us some advice as business community and government leaders about how we should think about some of these things.
Yeah, it's ultimately, despite the fact that you and I just been speaking about technology for a really long, for quite some time, it's a talent issue. Just having a quantum computer is not equivalent to having your desktop or laptop where you can take a manual and don't even have to take a manual and know how to use it. This is a really important to understand. This is an experimental still and extremely advanced computational technology. To maximize the use of that technology, you have to have an army of data scientists, PhDs in computational science, and engineers that we have to bring here so that we can really take the full advantage of the infrastructure that we have brought to the state of Ohio. So what can state do and what can government do is to help us really lower the barriers for those talented people to entry. Many of them we will be developing in our state. We have a lot of educational programs for quantum computing and computing in general, developing as a part of this, and this is really what IBM has brought to the table. But also for certain highly technical, highly sophisticated workforce, we have to have an ability to bring them into our state from outside. They do bring benefits. So kind of limiting the barriers for the attraction of talent is really what we need.
Yeah, well, we heard that at lunch about the very youngest, and we're, whether it's teaching, making sure children can read by the 3rd grade, or making sure that they're, PhDs in computer science, we need it all, and that's all part of the continuum. So tell me why IBM could have chosen any healthcare partner in the world. Why did they choose the Cleveland Clinic?
We have a long-standing relationship with IBM, and it has been a good relationship, dates, probably 15, 20 years back, and we have their presence actually on our main campus as well, physical presence. And when we speak with our colleagues in IBM, several things that I like about our collaboration. First, the collaboration of scale, the support, and in this case, support of the state is really, really important. Secondly, we are integrated healthcare delivery systems, so they're looking for the systems that are large enough and they're integrated enough so that the benefits of their technology can be implemented at scale and at speed, so that they can essentially showcase that the products that they have developed are impactful. So you have to give it into the hands of somebody who can demonstrate this. What they also like about Cleveland Clinic is while we are an Ohio institution and while our roots are and will always stay in Cleveland, Ohio, and in the state of Ohio, we are international enterprise. We have a strong presence in the Middle East, in the United Arab Emirates, which is leading the way of all Arab countries when it comes to data science, computational capacity, artificial intelligence, and genomics, as well as we have, as you know, presence in London and in the United Kingdom, which opens completely new market in Europe. So being a large integrated healthcare delivery system that is truly international, with a big hub here that is supported by the government, I would like to believe that those are really the features that attracted IBM, and obviously our 100 years commitment to research and innovation.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I want you to, we have a little more than 4 minutes left. I will share with you a conversation I had with one of IBM's quantum scientists. And at the ribbon cutting, I said, okay, tell me something that's just going to blow me away. Like, what is quantum capable of? And she prefaced this by saying it's not going to happen in our lifetime, but all those things you see on Star Trek, like, those will happen.
Yeah.
Like, that will happen. So I don't want to get too far out into the future, but tell me some of the things that your aspirations are that will just blow people away, that you hope that you will be able to achieve in the next 10 years?
Well, in healthcare, I'm personally very, very excited about the broader term use of computational technology that we have to really integrate. And really the holy grail is to change the paradigm of healthcare in ways that we become much more proactive in keeping people healthy instead of focusing just on treating a disease. But when the disease were to occur, to start to treat people in a way that is really going to be much more effective, much more affordable, and that can only be accomplished by tailoring the treatments to the need of an individual based on the unique features of the individual. And believe it or not, our unique features are not just height, weight, gender, and age. There's a ton of information about our genomic makeup, about our microbiome, everything that lives within us, but it's not decoded by our proteome, and the list goes on and on and on. There's absolutely no ability for any individual human to synthesize that information in any meaningful way unless we have a computational infrastructure that I'm speaking about. So when you speak about today, hospitals, everything else that you see as a traditional healthcare, what is going to happen in the future that we will have to have a very, very strong underpinning of data analytical capability and computational ability as essential differentiator in healthcare. Great organizations in healthcare will have that as a core differentiating attribute next to their talent. In the absence of it, they're going to be on the sidelines because they will not be able to satisfy the needs of future healthcare to deliver that really highly precise, individualized healthcare that is going to be fundamentally based on a million data points that each one of us in this audience carry, and is going to be relevant for your health. So that's what is exciting about healthcare.
So as we get ready to wrap up here, and you have people thinking about what it will be and what it's capable of doing, am I accurate to say that you're going to have scientists from all over the world who are thinking about the most complex health problems that plague our world, and they will have ideas, and they will send them to the Cleveland Clinic, and your PhDs and the team of computer scientists, partnering with the tools of artificial intelligence, can send questions to the quantum computer, and it will work 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? Trying to come up with answers to those
Exactly.
problems.
I think this is a nice illustration of what the world could be. And while a quantum computer is not going to be an answer to all of our issues, conventional hypercomputing and artificial intelligence plays a tremendous role, and it's a synergistic role. But this is an enabling technology of unprecedented potential, and we're so proud and we're very grateful to have it here in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, I know that when we created the Innovation District, this was the kind of aspiration we had. And thanks for fulfilling our hopes way ahead of time. And we are so excited about how it's going to put IBM, Cleveland Clinic, Cleveland, and all of Ohio on the map as the leader in healthcare innovation. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The challenges that we face in medicine and in life sciences are so big that no one can solve them on their own.
COVID actually showed the world that we need to go faster, we need to do it accurately with correct people.
IBM and Cleveland Clinic both realized that there was tremendous opportunity to go faster, bringing together new ways of doing computing with cutting-edge science.
That's exactly why we call this partnership the Discovery Accelerator. 1 + 1 much greater than 2 to make impact to the world.
We are all in a digital transformation. The way that we acquire data has changed.
It's a huge amount of data out there. We must unlock the value and benefit society. The Discovery Accelerator is really the convergence of classical computing, quantum computing, and artificial intelligence.
The quantum computer in Cleveland Clinic is the first one installed outside of an IBM facility in the United States. It is the first fully dedicated to healthcare and life sciences research.
Quantum computing is an absolute game changer. There are certain challenges that just cannot be solved with classical computing. One example is being able to simulate molecules that can lead to understanding of how they can be used for drugs or therapeutics.
Cleveland Clinic and IBM, our expertises are rather different, but our mindset is the same. We want to discover, we want to do it fast.
How can we accelerate drug discovery? How can we optimize the operations? How can we provide quality care by leveraging digital health, remote care, home care?
Addressing disease challenges like Alzheimer's disease or cancer. The applications and possibilities for impact are just tremendous.
A new drug that could help treat a disease. Those take more than 10 years to make it from a lab to an actual medication that's available in a pharmacy.
We truly believe that we can accelerate the pace from bench to bedside. Our goal is really to develop an innovation ecosystem in healthcare and life sciences. And it's really going to help create jobs and develop the economy locally.
It will be a magnet for all kinds of partners and collaborators in the next generation of research.
This is really an open book, and the pages are still empty.
Together, we could be creating a new era where AI, hybrid cloud, and quantum come together in a way that creates a whole new approach to how we do science.
I am excited because I can't wait to see what we're going to find. It's a time of discovery. That's it. I see us at a juncture where we have an opportunity to change the world.